everybody who has supported the shuttle program and is supporting these last few flights so professionally. A lot of reasons to be distracted with the shuttle program coming to an end, and yet I've never seen such professionalism and focus from the whole team as we're seeing these last few flights. And I want to thank everybody that makes it possible for these guys to go up there and do the fantastic job they do and come home safely. So thank you, one and all. So I know you're waiting to hear from the crew. I would like to point out they've not only been up there for 16 days, and not only did they land in the middle of the night, but their sleep shift is exactly out of sync with all of us. They're about 12 hours out of sync. So I want to thank them for staying up in the middle of the night to join all these folks up here. And I'd like to congratulate Mark Kelly for a very nice night landing after 16 days. Good job, Mark.
Thank you, sir. Well, it's great to be back here in Houston, Texas. We've been gone for actually more than 16 days. We actually went into quarantine pretty early and then had a couple launch slips. So we've been locked up since I think sometime around April 22nd. It's great to be back here in Houston. It seems that summer's arrived, and I know it's hot and a little bit humid. So we're going to keep our remarks pretty brief. It was great for me to be a part of such a superb mission with a fabulous group of crew members. These guys pulled this thing off seamlessly, and Endeavour performed as if it was brand new. It spent to date about 299 days in space, but it's been just really, really an incredible ship, and we're all very fond of it now. I flew Endeavour on my first flight, and I was excited that it was going to be on my last flight as well, and as it worked out, it was the 25th and final flight of an amazing vehicle called Space Shuttle Endeavour. But it's not the end of Endeavour either. Endeavour has a future, and its future is going to be to continue to inspire young people to pursue careers in science and engineering and math, and it's going to do that for a very long time. It's been a space shuttle for 20 years, and it'll certainly do that for many, many more years, and we're looking forward to visiting Endeavour again. The Space Shuttle program has been just the hallmark, I think, of the U.S. space program for the last 30 years. It's about collaboration and teamwork. And this mission was about collaboration and teamwork, and I think that's what made it such a success. We launched the Alpha Magnetic Spectrometer. We must have some AMS people here. Dr. Ting possibly gave them a break from analyzing 90 gigabytes or 90 terabytes of data a day, 50 million particles a day, and we expect that it's going to find some really revolutionary things about our universe, and we're excited about that. But that's not all we did on this mission. We installed ELC-3, which is a set of spare parts for the outside of the space station. We brought a lot of cargo up, and we did what turns out to be the 4 last spacewalks of the Space Shuttle program. 3 of our crew members went outside and broke through the barrier of 1,000 hours of EVA time in the assembly of the space station, and one of those was over nearly 8.5 hours, or maybe just over 8.5 hours, which was the 6th longest spacewalk of all time. And these things are really risky. So every time I've sent these guys out, I'm really, really nervous, and I know Mike's been there as well, and thanks to a very talented team of EVA people on the ground and a great EVA crew on this flight were able to pull that off without hurting anybody. So Endeavour has traveled now over 123 million miles, 4,000 times around the planet, and it's now safely back home. And there are a lot of people to thank for that. Mike mentioned my landing, but that's the easy part. The difficult part, with folks like John Shannon, the Space Shuttle Program Manager, Leroy King, that these folks just provide superb leadership for an excellent program that is big and difficult to manage and highly technical and a lot of people. So I really want to thank John and Leroy for their superb leadership over a long period of time to safely operate the Space Shuttle. I'd also like to thank Mike Suffrediti, who, with his leadership, has assembled a fantastic orbital laboratory that is going to provide a great service to the American people and great benefits to our economy for many, many years. And we were, just a small part of that, but the folks on the ground like Mike and his team have really done a great job in building and operating an incredible space station. I also want to thank Derek Hassman and Gary Orlocker, who are our lead flight directors for this flight. They've got a tough job as well, and one of the reasons why this went off without a hitch is because of the two of them. So thanks guys. Richard Jones and Tony Sacacci, who safely got us into orbit and back, are an instrumental part of this mission. So I wanted to thank them as well. I don't know if they made it out here today, but thank you guys. A part of the Space Shuttle program is about inspiration, inspiring young minds to pursue careers in math and science, and we got a chance to do a little bit of that. We talked to a lot of middle school and elementary school students, some from my wife's district, Gabby's district in Tucson, Arizona, and that was really, also one of the highlights of the mission. And all of us had an opportunity to talk to kids, and we always appreciate the chance to do that. Finally, I want to thank my incredible crew, or not finally, but who did a fabulous job, and I could not have personally picked a finer team to work with on this flight than these 5 individuals here. But finally, I'd like to thank my family, Gabby, who's not here today, Claudia and Claire, who are down here in the front row. I could not do this without their support. And I also want to thank the family members of my crew who, they make it easy for my guys here to do their job. So thank you for being so supportive. Sitting to my left, your right, is our pilot, Greg Johnson. This was his second flight on Endeavour, and fortunately it was his second night landing. And the other night it was my first time landing the Space Shuttle at night, but he'd been there before, gave me a little reassurance, hey, it's not much worse than the daytime, so don't worry about it. So that was nice to have him sitting there and supporting me, for the entire mission. He did a really, really great job, a great motivator of people, and I was very happy to have you on this flight. So here's Box Johnson.